So I went to the indoor kart track this weekend,
It's so much more.
and that's always fun because you're always there with people that you just don't know anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they just never know anything at all.
Do you like do that to like raise your confidence and feel like you're better than people? Like that's
I mean, I'm sure that serotonin boost is definitely a part of it. But what I like to do is I like this. This is kind of goes into what I was saying before I was really interrupted. So sorry. I like going there I like going there and running laps because it's a nice way to keep sharp in like an actual vehicle. And then also I like going there when it's crowded. Like on weekends and stuff because I like passing people. I like keeping sharp like reaction time wise and like, learning how to maneuver around people. Like I enjoy that a lot. That's like one of my favorite things about racing, which you guys already kind of know. But it's a good way to kind of help work on racecraft because you just you pick up on stuff and it's a good way to work on your reaction time in racecraft.
Joe, are you doing that specifically in a way so the little template covers it up? Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah. What's new, Joe? Joe being a butthole behind the scenes.
Ooh. Oh, he's got demonetized like 5 seconds in.
I said butthole. We're good.
Yeah.
At least I didn't say the other one.
True. Speaking of racing stuff, Joe, did you see what I bought this week?
I didn't.
Oh, let me post the picture in here for you.
Not that I'll.
I took it out to the BMX track though, and I did.
Oh,
since you guys love to plug my Instagram, I finally posted something on Instagram, and it's me using said thing. Let me post the picture. I bought, for those who won't be able to see this picture, I bought a side hack BMX bike, which is essentially a BMX bike with a sidecar, so you can go shred with one of your bros.
That's so freaking awesome. Joe, put that in the podcast. Just stick the picture in.
So real quick, Tommy literally does 0 editing, and we are 2 minutes in, and you guys already want me to do editing. I just wanted to mention that out there. Just putting that out.
Well, yeah, because you're better. Because you're better.
We expect the best from you.
And the best part is Tommy won't watch this, so he won't know that I said anything about it.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll like the video.
Will he?
He'll like the video.
He'll put it on mute and play it in the background to give us the view.
There's literally how many of us do JTN stuff? 7 now.
Mm-hmm.
There's never
us 3, Weaver, Tommy, and then Ricky, and then who else?
I guess I double counted myself. Anyways,
I mean, you do twice. Oh, Bristol. There you go.
Oh, there we go. There's 7.
Yep.
There's never 7 likes on these videos. It feels like.
Yeah. Gotta step that up.
I bet it's Ricky. Ricky never.
Let's blame Ricky since he's
actually
not
Ricky likes every single JTN tweet, unlike you two. So
Ricky doesn't like all the YouTube videos, which I usually do if I see it in my sub box or if I know that one came out.
There's the catch.
If I see it in my sub box or I know it came out. If it's a live stream, I like it. If it shows up in my sub box, I like it. If it's a podcast, I like it.
All the kiddos out there that need some guidance in their life, make sure when you choose your friends and your colleagues, they actually support you instead of fake supporting you when you're on camera and then not supporting you behind the scenes.
I support all the time.
Dude, I listen to the show like twice a week every time we do it.
I have shown more people this podcast than you guys have.
Bullish. Man.
I have friends that have watched it. My family watches it. There are people who I know that are no longer in my life now that subscribe to the podcast on Spotify.
My roommate's girlfriend's dad is now subscribed to JTN. So
listen, Joe. Just because we're not in the sticks doing all the little likey dekies and all that little stuff, you can't say that we're not supporting because we're doing all the work outside of it. We're getting the word out, word of mouth.
I just wanted to make sure you guys knew I was back. I just wanted to rally you up to start one of these, and I did my job.
Yeah, we're starting off.
Well,
great.
Now I'm mad.
Good. Maybe you'll have some energy now for this episode.
No, I won't.
Anyways.
Wait, a quick question.
Yeah.
Yes.
Joe, you're close to Canada. How do you spell the word color?
So... I
just want to ask this.
When I like to so there's like what color and there's other words. Is it humor's
It's just
one?
I'm
No,
yeah,
but there's
humor.
other words like
Yeah. Color, humor. How do you spell those?
I sometimes when I'm typing, I do the COLOUR,
That's wrong.
but most of the times it's COLOR.
That's wrong.
How do you spell color?
I don't.
Davey's like, actually, I'm colorblind, so I don't have to worry about typing.
Welcome to the Fake Racers podcast. My name's Davey Hazard. That's Joe Tawansky. He is Matthew Steelman. We're here to bring you this week's recap on the 2 Richmond races that happened, and really, that's about all that happened.
This episode's off to a weird start.
I was thinking today, but I was thinking about the podcast.
Why?
Because again, when you do 85% of the work, you have to think about these things. I was thinking.
I'm unbothered.
I know you are. You there. See, doesn't care, folks. Doesn't care. Davey Hazard, don't care. Anyways,
that was a good sip of water. Excuse me.
Real hydro homie right there.
I was thinking about it today, and I was
hydrated.
like, "Wow, did I miss doing the podcast last week?"
And then you were like, nah.
Believe it or not, it's like back and forth. So we'll see how this week's episode goes, and we'll go from there. Anyways,
No, you won't.
but like Davey said, you know our names, you know who we are if you're tuning in. If it's your first time tuning in, our names are like right above. Well, my name's above my head, Davey's name is above his, and Matthew, since he's a perennial bottom, of course, he has to be on top of his name.
Oh boy.
What?
Okay.
I just had a
That was daring. That was bold of you.
That was, yeah.
Joe.
I literally made that joke like 6 episodes ago.
Joe came back all
Yeah.
PG-13 on us.
Yeah.
Listen,
This ain't your grandma's podcast.
this ain't your grandma's Fake Racers podcast. Anyways,
Oh my god.
can't thank you folks enough for tuning in this week. Visual gags are going to be a thing.
I-
Look at this tiger. Ooh.
I can thank you enough. There's definitely enough times. I don't need to thank you over and over again.
I'm not gonna lie, I thought you had a Black and Mild in your mouth for a second, Joe. I was like, what is that?
It's a pen.
Yeah.
In case you didn't know.
If I saw Joe Tawansky show up at a gas station, I'd be like, "Oh my god, Joe's in Florida." But then he would order a Black and Mild. I'd be like, "Oh, all right, he can do that. It's fine."
Anyways,
Anyway, NASCAR, yeah.
yeah, thanks for tuning in this week. I'm
It's a
back.
racing podcast.
Feels so. Honestly, if we had more of this banter, I think we'd be more successful. So,
Well, it's because we're funny
Anyways,
guys.
NASCAR Cup Series,
And Joe.
Richmond.
There's 3 dudes.
I mean, pretty much. You're not wrong.
I made a great joke. That was mean. I'm sorry.
yeah,
Oh no, you're fine.
he's
I
loud.
don't.
Joe's
I
funny.
don't.
Joe,
I
you're
don't.
funny, Joe.
No,
Joe,
I'm
you're
not.
funny. Joe, you're funny. You're funny, Joe. You're
Yeah.
funny in a Joe way. You know what I'm saying? In like a Joe Tawansky talking about dang old dry humor, Matt Kenseth, that's who I am kind of way. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't wrong. Anyways, NASCAR Cup Series action from Richmond. The question has been posed. It's on the sheet. I'm gonna read it out loud. Shoot. Are we back to normal? Well, it just says back to normal. So back to normal? Question mark.
One race out of all these races, I'm not gonna call that back to normal yet. We thought that when Larson won early in the season, that wasn't the case, and we were definitely not back to normal yet. I struggle to see a status quo happening with this car at all. Status quo. I struggle to see a status quo happening at all this first season. I think we're gonna keep getting kind of like little, because even this race, the reason that I think it came down to this, and I'm sure we'll get to it when we talk about the strategy of this race and whatnot. But like this, it was a typical short track race where it's a long short track race where we had a lot of comers and goers, and naturally the teams with more resources found their way at the front quicker than the teams that maybe don't have as much resources or experience getting their cars to the point to where they're race winners by the end of that race. So it kind of made sense that we saw the typical guys come back to the front over the course of that race.
Yeah, not every race is going to be, just like the crazy lottery that we've seen for a lot of this year. And And like you're saying, this race had significantly less attrition than like the rest of the races we've seen this season, which means a lot less problems for big teams. Cream's going to rise to the top. So, I mean, you even still had Ross Chastain ran really well, but
that's
yeah,
that attrition is a good note because Richmond not typically a track where there is a lot of attrition. I think the stat was in the Gen 6 era, Richmond had the least amount of incidents. Think about how many Richmond races, even in the stage era, have kind of gone green flag all the way through.
Yeah. There was a tweet I saw that I think it was the Cody Ware and Ricky Stenhouse incident. That was the first multi-car crash at Richmond since 2019.
Was it Cody Ware and Ricky Stenhouse, or was it Cody Ware and Eric Jones? Because that was another one.
One of those two. I don't remember.
I saw his tweet after, and I guess I forgot about the Stenhouse one, so maybe he was talking about Stenhouse and not Jones. I don't know. Never know. I hope so. Anyways, I don't want Cody Ware coming after my driver. I'm really scared. Really scared.
Oh,
Shivering in my boots. Sorry, Cody. Yeah, status quo back to normal. In the end, you had the Gibbs cars show up finally this year.
Mm-hmm.
They'll probably show up this weekend at Martinsville. Get it? It's a short track, and a lot of their guys are kind of geared more towards those short tracks. It seems. Look at Truex out of nowhere these last 3 years, winning at least 2 short track races a year. It's I don't know. It's so hard because eventually we're going to get to a point where the teams with more money will have more resources and will have better information. And I think that's what you saw this weekend. The teams that have more money, more resources, pit crews came in to play. Gibbs has the new pit thing that they're doing to go, like everyone going around the front of the car. Yep, thank you. I just called a barn burner of a TMP Cup Series race from Atlanta Motor Speedway. So if I can't use big words, I apologize.
So, hey, that's what I'm here for.
I know. Yeah. Yep. Always here to support me, Davey. Always here to support me.
Yeah, I see nothing wrong with that statement.
But yeah, I don't know if it's back to normal. I think what we saw through the first 6 races is what we're gonna say is normal this year. A lot of parity up and down the running order. As the season goes on, you'll see less components breaking because teams will kind of realize how to mount them, place them, maximize things. We're still in the trial and error phase with this car.
Yeah. And it's like what I said earlier this year, where I don't think the next gen is necessarily going to completely scramble the running order. It's going to close the gap between the top and the bottom. The good teams are still going to be good. The bad teams are still going to be bad. I think there's just going to be a greater chance of the field getting scrambled up on occasion, like we've seen. So, yeah.
Agreeable.
Strategy was the big key, and I think why a lot of folks really liked this Richmond race. Richmond always has a lot of strategy when it runs green flag like it does, and it did. You had a bunch of different pit calls. You had William Byron at the end making a pit stop with like 90 laps to go and then deciding to run it to the end, and I think he ended up finishing 3rd, which
almost paid off.
Yeah, I ended up not being a net gain, or it was a net loss in the end, but just barely. Truex was doing the 1 stop, and then Hamlin and Harvick did the 2 stops. So you had those 4 were your top 4 with Hamlin and Harvick going 1-2. But strategy was the big key word this week with a lot of folks. It seemed like really liked seeing old school strategy.
Yeah, and I don't know if this weekend necessarily goes against or for the argument of strategy still existing during stage racing, because you could argue that there would have been more strategy, or because I saw a lot of that this weekend where people
were such a dumb argument
complaining about stages.
So, real quick,
explain
it. Okay, a big reason why Hamlin, Harvick was in front of Hamlin, I think, before the first pit stop, if I recall correctly. Reason why the Gibbs cars and Hamlin specifically were able to gain so much time was their net positive on the pit lane. They were at least 1/10 of a second quicker, if not more. I think might have been even 4/10 on average quicker on the pit stops this weekend because they were running that new choreography. Also, the whole argument about the stage racing and taking strategy out of races, the road course one always gets to me because people, stage racing ruins road courses, and sure, that's fine. It does it, though, because it's taking away the element of, okay, now I'm running this race from back to front, right? Which was the old adage with the road courses.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm running to the stages. Do I pit before the stage, after the stage? You see the same thing at Pocono sometimes. It's just different strategy. Like I don't get the Xfinity series or the Truck series. All you're doing in those series is you're taking green flag pit stops out, which honestly, especially with the Truck series, isn't necessarily a bad thing. Especially with the Truck series. Good.
Yeah.
Emphasis there. I don't see the gripe with it because it adds more. It doesn't. Maybe it doesn't add more, but I don't think it subtracts like everyone says.
Yeah, I
find that hard to believe because it's a new element, and I get it. You don't like the race being broken up. You don't like cautions at certain laps. I get that. Not the biggest fan of it all the time either. But when you see people that have been against it from the start, they're still against it. Again, fine. But then anytime one wrong thing happens, they're going to be picking it. And this argument about the strategy thing, I don't see it, maybe.
Yeah, I see both sides of it personally because I do understand where those people are coming from, where they talk about, I mostly see it on the road courses, if anything.
Yeah.
That's the only place that I really, really notice it because on ovals, your ovals, like it's, a lot of people don't like it because it feels like manufactured strategy. Like the cautions are there so you can plan around the cautions.
Yeah.
And that is the actual argument that I think they're trying to make. It's not that it gets rid of strategy. It's that the it's that the strategy is manufactured. Which I kind of only sort of get that. I like that it's a true statement and I get it. But also like it's no different than without stage breaks, like a caution can still mess it up, just like a caution would mess up your regular race strategy. Like it does kind of feel like you're just arguing at a brick wall when you talk about that argument. But I understand the frustration, but it's like you're arguing about a problem that doesn't really exist. It's just something that you dislike.
It's back to that artificial versus natural argument we've kind of talked about a lot of times here, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, Matthew, do you have anything?
Matt, any thoughts?
Sometimes we like take everything and then Matthew's just kind of sitting there cross-armed and looking.
No, I'm just chilling,
looking like a bro.
I'm just listening. So
I don't care. Got a side hatch.
Yeah, I think that I gotta go shred with one of my bros in a couple days. I think stages are complicated because overall I'm not a fan of stages. But there's been races that have been improved by stages. I feel like stage breaks actually did kind of set up the crazy strategy we saw at the end of this. But then you also get the flip side, like Coke 600 last year, which just made, it split the race up into 4 75 lap or 150 lap stages or 100 lap stages. So it's literally just you run 50 laps, pit, caution, pit, and then you just repeat ad nauseum. And it made the race a complete chore. So I don't know. I don't think there's absolutes for anything. I would rather not see stages, but I'm not going to sit there and say that every single stage break is bad.
And if you want to get into that more too, NASCAR, when they originally did stages, the first half of the race was supposed to be stage 1, stage 2, and since then they've broken it up for whatever reasons. I know Bob Pockris tweeted out saying that the reason was they don't want long green flag runs, which is very dangerous, Bob. Very dangerous, but could be true. They will grab that like a mob and they will run with it.
Sorry, my mic made a noise.
The Coke 600 is a beautiful example, right? The whole 4 stages thing is a little overkill.
And the fact that it's 4 stages all of equal length, and it literally split up perfectly where you just pit halfway through, and it's like, all right, what's even the point?
So, and then you're just waiting on cautions to come out. Okay, do I come down pit lane, get tires? What's the advantage of having tires? Yeah, and again, stages, strategy will always have a place in racing, to go back to the main question. But the guy that capitalized on his wonderful strategy from his crew chief, who is amazing, was Denny Hamlin. Gets his first win of the year, gets out of the doldrums of the points up to 20th.
Yep. I saw a tweet that I really liked, which was Denny Hamlin unlapped himself with 35 laps to go, and then passed William Byron for the lead, I think, with 4 to go. So in 31 laps, he ran down William Byron on speed.
Yep.
It was really nutty. It was a really interesting end of the race. There's really not much I can really say about it. Like, it happened, but I know they were saying that was going to happen, and like that was a possibility. It's just insane that it happened. Like, it happened so fast.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like the race was, he was a lap down, and then the race was over, and then he was doing burnouts.
It was
so weird.
That was another thing. People complaining about Fox not kind of showing Hamlin and Harvick cutting up through the field. Part of why you feel so shocked by seeing that is because they weren't focusing on it, I think. Would you have liked to see it? Yeah, but I'm just...
Because it was funny in those final 10 laps, they were all focused on, like, Truex is running him down, and Larson's running down both of them. And then 5 laps later, Larson's, like, 6 seconds back. Truex has been passed by both of them, and all of a sudden, Hamlin and Harvick are out of nowhere breathing down Byron's neck. So, I thought that whole last run, however long that last green flag run, that was really fun. That was it was a good finish.
Agreed.
Even if people didn't really care for the rest of the race, it was a very cool conclusion, and we did get to see a little bit of strategy there.
It was a good race. It was a good race. And Gibbs overall has that big rebound day. All their cars running well, including Christopher Bell. Kyle Busch was running well. Did he end up finishing top 10?
I don't think so, because he never got a caution to catch him back up. So
he had to come back down the pit lane. I think they pit him though. They did his second stop then. Right?
I don't think they did. I think they just came because it was right after a pit stop. Because it's so...
What? I remember them putting tires on, and I don't know why you'd put tires on if you're not pitting them. But
we'll go back and check.
Anyways, the thing with this was apparently they put a piece of tape on the opening on the front of the car, the grill opening, which is a big no-no with the next-gen car. Of course, they said that it was a mistake. Probably was, because that's...
Yeah.
I mean, that grill opening's pretty big if you...
he did come back to finish 9th. How about that?
Yeah. So top 10.
I was gonna say I thought he got a top 10, but I didn't want
There you
to.
go.
I didn't want to be wrong, so I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
He got top 10, idiot. God.
So,
bozo.
No, but an interesting thing there with Kyle Busch, and then they said, "Oh, well, we've had it on there for 200 laps, and now they're black flagging us." Which, if that's the case,
that was the weird thing about it.
That's the fair part,
because it was a bright green piece of tape, and the fact that it took NASCAR 200 laps to spot it is weird.
I will say,
if that is the case,
I will say, it probably did take them. It probably was on the car for that long. NASCAR is put in a position where if the team decides to dispute that, or if they're not sure where that piece of tape came from, they have to go back and verify when, how, and where that piece was put on the grill, whether it was an accident or not. And if it's an accident, obviously, probably they don't get the penalty. But they have to go back and verify, and I don't know how long that takes. 200 laps maybe is a bit excessive, but they do have to go back and verify it. So that could account for some of the time that it took to, hammer down on the penalty. It doesn't explain 200 laps maybe, but it explains a little bit of it. Maybe.
Yeah, now I'm interested. I'm looking at the highlights right now. I'm interested to go back and watch the full race when it gets uploaded and see if you can spot it on the broadcast.
Yeah.
To see if it truly was there the whole time.
Because it was bright. Like, you'd be able to notice it.
But I wanted to bring up bad NASCAR, funny NASCAR, ha 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 ha. So
yeah,
agreed.
Oh, and don't forget bad Fox, ha ha ha, bad skit, ha ha, funny, bad, pre-race bad.
I mean, the pre-race isn't great, but it is kind of like...
You know what it is, don't watch it. If you don't watch it, maybe they'll stop doing it. So.
Agreed, absolutely. No, I totally agree.
Apparently, writing your angular post on Twitter ain't working. Xfinity Series. One driver was a little upset. Another driver was happy, but also, I don't know, weird interview from Ty Gibbs, in my opinion. But he moves John.
Seems
Hunter.
To be a trend.
Well,
when do we not get a weird interview from Ty Gibbs?
Yeah, he's just a weird dude.
It's like he's in the middle of his marketing training or something. Like his.
So he gets his. Well, he is. with TRD, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
I guess technically he would be at some point, but yeah.
I keep forgetting he's like a literal child.
Yep.
I remember my dad asking the first time he saw him, how old is, like, asking if he was like 15, and I'm like, no, he's 18, 19.
He's born in 2002. I don't like that.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Ugh.
Anyways,
I feel old.
Yeah,
sorry.
Ty Gibbs moves John Hunter Nemechek out of the way. Fair game, bad etiquette. It kind of goes back to Ross. It doesn't. I saw a lot of people being like, "Oh, you can't pick and choose. Oh, you like this driver, so you say it's okay, and then another driver does it, you say it's bad." And that's being very pick and choosy, but okay.
Here's my deal. Here's kind of where I stand on it, because full disclosure, none of us really watched much of the Xfinity race. I saw the last bit of it, and I saw the replays of the Ty Gibbs incident. My deal is, from what I understand of the context of the race prior to that and that incident, Ty Gibbs didn't have to really do that. Because it felt like, to me, John Hunter Nemechek, who is normally a quite aggressive driver, got around Ty Gibbs cleanly. Made the pass cleanly, got up into the lead.
Little coming off the corners tender, but
short track racing.
Yeah.
That is short track racing. And it kind of felt like the move Ty Gibbs made was a little bit cheaper than the one John Hunter Nemechek made, because I just it's tough, because I just said it's short track racing and people are like, short track racing, use the bumper, and it's like,
yeah, but he used the whole door.
He used the whole door, and then on top of that, like, did he really even have to do that? Number one, it's a teammate. Number two, he just passed you clean, and number three, you have a preferred line. You did not have to shoot him up. You didn't have to door him in the middle of the corner. Like, you really just didn't have to.
Yeah.
Probably would have beat him otherwise.
It's the fact that he did it 2 corners in a row and like didn't even try to make the corner under John Hunter, which really rubs me the wrong way.
Especially in 3.
And I know people, like Joe, you were saying, it's like, oh, what are Ross Chastain? It's apples and oranges. One is, that was a battle that built up for a long time. Again, I'm also not saying what Ross did was okay.
No, I know.
But
I heard last week. I listened to the podcast.
Yeah. Ross gets punted out of the way. He then returns the favor. John Hunter never punted Ty Gibbs. It was just a matter of, he got next to him, he doored him in turn 1 and ran him up the track, and then they were side by side into 3, and then he just didn't even give John Hunter a chance going into 3. And I was like, that's not even racing. I hate when people use short track racing. Short track racing is a load of... Here, I'll sign language it so you don't have to censor it.
Now he's got to blur it.
It's garbage. I hate that experience, because short track racing culture is garbage to begin with. So the fact that it's just okay if you just knock somebody out of the way pisses me off.
I feel like it's a canned excuse for people who...
It is. Yeah.
Like, just...
Short track racing is garbage. Clip it. Someone clip that.
Yeah.
You just said it. No, I don't think that's the culture of it, though. I really don't think...
Maybe it's not been the culture forever, but it's definitely the culture with
it's the culture of it with NASCAR.
Yeah, with NASCAR and with like the wave of young drivers. I hate to sound like the young kids back in my day. Like, it's been like this for a long time, but I hate it.
There's no leaders, so...
Yeah.
I don't remember if we've talked about this. I don't remember if it was on a podcast. I would reference you to an episode if I knew. I don't. We talked about at one point about like locker room leaders and drivers being that in the garage area, and how like Mark Martin back in the day, Jeff Burton, there were guys, right?
Yeah.
Doesn't feel like anyone ever picked up that mantle. I mean, Jimmy Johnson, I don't think picked it up. 7-time champion, feels like he would be a guy that would. I think he did.
I think he did amongst the Hendrick drivers. I don't think he did with the field.
Right, and that's what I'm saying. You have to having that guy to teach the etiquette. I don't know how many times I've heard people say that within the sport, and I believe it. Right, you have that in every sport. I mean, you have that in football. You have that in baseball, hockey, basketball. Heck, you have it in pro wrestling. You have those locker room leaders that are like, hey, don't do that. That's wrong. Mm-hmm. Cut it out. And, I look back at like Brad Keselowski trying to be a vocal guy and everyone crapping on him, and Denny Hamlin being a really vocal guy now and everyone kind of being mixed on what he says, and just it doesn't help when you call a guy a hack either after he wins a race. And discount his whole career. Anyways, not the point.
Baby, just such a baby about that.
That one
I
always
knew
gets
you were gonna
me.
have to say something
Such
about
a baby.
That one always gets me, man.
gosh.
That one always gets me.
Yeah,
It gets me.
it's one thing.
I'll mute you, Davey.
Yeah, you see, like,
Okay,
obviously,
go
like
ahead.
you mentioned, Brad Keselowski and Denny Hamlin have tried to step into that.
It
you know,
feels like they have. I don't know if they have, but it
But
feels like it.
it's hard for you to take it seriously when they spent the entire young part of their career being the guys that pissed off all the veterans. It's
But
the
at
same
least-
reason why, like,
Right.
everybody makes fun of Kyle Busch and especially Joey Logano when they do it too. And it's like, look in a mirror. You don't even follow your own rules, dude.
Yeah, but in a way that adds to the merit of it, though, especially with
Yeah.
someone like Denny Hamlin, especially with someone like Brad Keselowski, like, guys who, for better or for worse, have more or less matured.
Yeah.
As race car drivers, in that sense, right? Like they can look back and kind of see the error in their ways for the most part. I believe they can, and whether they're trying to move into that role or not, they have the experience to know that, hey, I was told this. This is what happened when I did this. They have the experience. That's what's really it. That's all I'm really getting at. And then I feel like, obviously the young guys, especially this new way, like God, I'm that guy right now. The new wave of young guys, who are like fiercely independent in how they operate and drive, and like they're quick, and they're obviously quick, and they're all really fast, and they're all really talented. But there's a section of racing etiquette that just seems to be missing.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the DNA of the ladder system of NASCAR, there's just something missing in the racing etiquette area. I don't know what that is. I don't know who it was. I don't know where it died. But there's like, I'll hear short track racers all the time. Like, it's always a big debate. Like, anytime Matt Weaver goes to some big short track race and some guy gets knocked out of the lead on the last lap because of course he did, it's always a huge debate amongst that. Like, I love seeing that discourse and discussion, but I would love to know where exactly this paradigm shift happened, like anywhere where that happened.
And it's not to say that there's no merit in what Denny Hamlin or Brad Keselowski have tried to say, but it's more a matter of, like, race car drivers never forget. So if you're gonna stand up on your soapbox and try to preach about respect, every other driver and fan is gonna be like, well, what about this time when you did the thing? Yes, Joe.
Hey, Joe, it's a podcast. You don't have to raise your hand.
They yell at me for interrupting people. Yell at me for whatever. Ryan Newman, 2014 Phoenix. There it is.
I think that's a good. Yeah.
Yeah, that was was a lot thrown out the window.
If not that, Joey Logano, 2018 Martinsville, which isn't awful either. I don't think that Newman one is really bad. Like,
the Newman one
on it.
The fact that there is so little outrage about that within NASCAR, like, really annoys me.
I appreciate it. I think it's awesome. I thought it was
there's-
great.
I mean,
Screw Jeff Gordon.
Plenty of outrage. You got well. I mean, like,
people discounted the man's whole career after that. Kind of.
yeah.
There are, like, a lot of people were like, "Ooh, Ryan Newman was never that good."
I mean, to be fair, I didn't think he was that good before that. So.
Yeah, I didn't either. But but like we mentioned, we brought up a couple of things there, and like the Joey Logano one and Matt Kenseth one was, well, that was like,
No.
oh
No.
wait,
When
thought
he
you-
just
When
Martin
he just
Truex is the one.
Truex.
Oh!
Yeah.
yeah,
I think-
personally, I don't think that
That
had as
one's
much of
not-
like a
yeah.
cultural shift as the Ryan Newman one. Ryan Newman being like,
I mean, you
I
can go,
don't think
"Boys
he was all
have
that
at
great,
it,"
but Ryan
that's
Newman
cliche.
was a moderately respected racer at that point, a veteran of the sport, and did what he had to do, quote unquote, to make his way into the final round of the chase. I think that probably had more of a like impact on the culture, like inside the garage area, than anything else. That's a good idea. That's a good spot. I don't know if it's the major thing that we're talking about where racing etiquette went out the window, but that is a good turning point, at least in the Cup Series,
Yeah.
So,
I think I'll
Wrap
hang on a
us
second.
up.
Just
Put us in a
one
bow.
last closing thought on this. When we're talking about Joey Logano at Martinsville, I think the fact, not that what Joey Logano did, but I think the fact that Martin Truex let him get away with it also kind of added to that, is the fact
That's a
that
good point.
Truex threatened to hold him accountable for it and then never did.
Yeah.
I
Granted,
think that's also another point.
He didn't really get a good chance to hold him accountable the next 2 races because Logano blew up in one and I think lost transmission in the other. So
No, 2018 was the year he won the title, and Logano passed him with like 10 laps to go.
right, but you're not wrecking a guy at 1.5 miles. That's kind of. Anyways,
I mean,
not what I'm trying to get
Logano's
at.
done it, so.
Well,
Also, real quick, like there's a lot in between.
there's a lot of variables.
Letting a guy around the outside, letting a guy around you on the outside, and then wrecking him. There's a whole middle area there.
If you're gonna say he's not gonna win the damn war, and then you just lay over and let him go by, I'm not saying he let him go by, but he put up such a little fight in that race.
It was quite pitiful.
You're a pushover at that point, and you're basically saying that's how you can race me.
Oh, you know, most people think about Martin Truex.
Yeah.
Yep.
In stupid online racing circles. JTM merch store, go buy some of our merch. We'd really appreciate it. Bristol would love if you bought a Bristol producer shirt. I believe we're going to be giving one away at 1,000 subscribers. Probably you can get some kick butt stickers. They are ginormous. You can get a coffee mug like Davey's got there. Coffee cup, I guess. Still never got an email back from them. So, real quick, you can buy stuff off the JTM merch store on Spring. I am constantly looking at different solutions for our merch because I'm not happy with that mug thing. I still have not gotten a response.
Yeah.
I know I'm probably like telling you now not to buy our merch, but please buy our merch because it helps support us.
Just don't buy the mug yet.
Yeah, don't buy the mugs yet. If you buy a t-shirt, they're pretty good.
Yeah. I have several, so.
Yeah. Or the stickers. The stickers are really good. And that's pretty like cheap way to help support us too, so that'd be appreciated. IndyCar's back this week, Long Beach.
Oh yeah.
We're gonna kind of rattle through some racing here, but any thoughts, opinions? It's a Sunday at 3, I believe.
Long Beach is always great. It's one of the marquee IndyCar races, and I'm looking forward to it.
Will Power's gonna win.
Yeah.
I can see it. Yeah.
Who won last year?
Let's find out.
That's a good question.
2021 IndyCar season.
It was probably Palou or Dixon.
Long Beach.
Oh, it was Herta. It was Herta.
Oh, it was Herta. Okay.
It was Herta.
Yeah.
That's right.
So we'll see if Andretti can figure out their stuff for their other cars except Herta. Rossi.
Rossi's gonna break down or something again.
Rossi, that dude, I think probably broken down in half the races over the course of the last year and a half.
What racing god did Alexander Rossi piss off? Like, oh my god.
That dude used up every bit of racing luck he has
on
the Indianapolis 500 win.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty good race to use up all your luck on, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Being real
it's like
here.
Him, Tommy Joe Martins, and Ken Roczen just hang out, and they're like, "Man, our luck sucks, doesn't it?" So, yeah.
Real and based.
But I have to think the Penske's will be fast. Scotty obviously winning the first street course race of the year. Newgarden kind of needs a win. It feels like, I don't know why it feels like that, but it does. He just won at Texas. I don't know why I just said that.
Why are you saying that?
See, IndyCar, this is why you need to put your races closer together.
Yeah.
See, Joe, while you're busy paying attention to the Fake Racers podcast, we pay attention to the news.
That's why I pay attention to the Fake Racers podcast, because I know you're paying attention to the news.
Yeah.
You see, it all works out. Why do you keep complaining? You spent all podcasts complaining. All I've heard from Joe was, no one else does this. But then, like, we're the only... You can only remember Joseph Newgarden won the dang old Texas, right? Dang old man, tell you what, big old cowboy hat, man. Come on.
Okay, Boomhauer. Jesus.
Yeah, a little bit.
But that was our IndyCar Long Beach preview. It will be fun, I think, is the consensus.
IndyCar good. That's my
IndyCar good.
Analysis.
That's really all you need to know.
Not going up against NASCAR this weekend, too. All of these races are not going up against each other. It's beautiful.
Good.
It's beautiful.
Good.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Sunday morning, is this like the 1 a.m. race, or is this...
It's
8 a.m., 9 a.m.
usually like the Australian Grand Prix comes on at like 10 o'clock at night from where I am. So yeah,
feel
so
like they
probably
changed
like
it.
1 a.m. for you guys.
I'll check the time. 1 a.m. Eastern, baby. Woo!
Yeah. Oh my god, I got it literally dead on.
Sounds like I'm staying up to watch that one.
Yeah.
'cause
Favorite
So what you're
race
saying?
of the season, baby.
Well,
New-
I'll
new
actually get to
track.
watch this one. So,
New track configuration.
yeah, tweaked
that's
one
right.
of the chicanes a little bit, I think.
Or-
Which one?
4 DRS zones.
I gotta see the new layout. I totally forgot they did that.
I don't know. Oh, you did. Wow.
They it's the essentially the backstretch section is what they modified.
Oh,
It's
okay.
like
So-
gradually
Gotcha.
getting to an oval.
Essentially, yeah.
Good.
Yeah, Melbourne's usually a really good race. I really like Albert Park. So
Albert
forward
Park
to it.
is my favorite Formula One track.
yeah, it
I
just feels
love it.
wrong not starting the season there though.
I know.
Yeah.
It's so weird. I absolutely
You got to
adore Albert Park. I love watching races. I love driving it in the games. It's my favorite Formula One track.
Yeah,
You got to
So
start
good.
the season at a track where you can be on a good time for America now.
yeah.
I guess. Lame.
But 4 DRS zones this weekend, so that's cool and weird, I guess.
Yeah.
Probably gonna be pretty fast.
Have to think
The Mercedes teams are gonna struggle pretty bad.
Dude, did
The
you guys see that
porpoising.
video of
porpoising.
Lance Stroll's radio communications from the last week?
I saw the video. I didn't listen. I didn't get.
Oh
to
my
listen to
God.
it, but I saw that there was some hoopla about it.
It's bad. Like Lance Stroll is basically straight up saying he's like scared to push the car because it's so unpredictable.
That's not good.
Yeah. It's unreal how badly Aston dropped the ball with that car. It's terrible.
That's sad. As a Sebastian Vettel fan, that's really sad.
Yeah.
You never want that. That's like the number one thing you don't want. You can build a bad race car, but if the driver has confidence in your car, you'll get something out of the season eventually.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
the driver has no
And-
confidence in the car, it's chalked immediately.
And speaking
Future
of
disqualified episode.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and speaking of bad race cars, you can now check out Disqualified episode 3 right here
Take your engine covers off, baby. It's time for
Yeah.
a wild ride.
on JTN2, or on your favorite podcast platform of preference.
Hopefully by the time you're hearing this, it'll be categorized under the right category because for some reason it's been listed under American football for the last 3 months. So I literally sent an email to support about it, and I was like, I can't. I've changed it, and it won't change. Help! So
That's awesome. You love to see it.
right here.
Love Disqualified. All my homies love Disqualified.
It's true.
Yeah.
You can also use code JTN at CircleBdiecast.com for free shipping on your order of $20 or more. This was actually where our Circle B ad read was supposed to go, but it's okay.
I actually just bought some diecasts using code JTN to get free shipping
Yeah,
on
you
my
got.
order of $20 or over.
Did you get Color Chrome Bowman car? Or...
I did. I haven't reviewed it yet. I was very busy last week.
Oh wait,
I
no,
gotta-
that's the one you got in the mail. You still got to review
Yeah.
Suarez
I still
camping.
gotta,
World.
I gotta review that car. It's
Yeah, I bought some 164th though, and I'm gonna review those when they get here.
What did you get?
And eventually,
Or is it a surprise?
I'll tell you after the show. It'll be a surprise. For
Okay,
the
it'll be a
viewers.
surprise for the viewers.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to hear that.
Yeah.
So more diecast reviews here on JTN2. We also got that Elio Castroneves Indy 500 diecast review out, and apparently no one saw that it was out, so it's out. Go check it out.
It's out. Out.
But yeah, we buy our we buy our diecast from Circle B Diecast.
We buy our Circle Bs from Diecast.
Yes.
Go to diecast.com and under Circle B to get the JTN discount code.
Yeah.
Weren't you the ones saying too that you got like a little bit of a discount too on the cars when you entered our code?
Yeah, it knocked like 30 cents off the cars when I put it in as the coupon code. So maybe I'm just imagining it, but I think it
I don't
like
care.
double applied it, so that was cool. Eventually, I'm gonna have to buy that picture of Casey Mears that Tommy picked and put it up there. So just right in that empty spot. So
I still can't believe that's what you guys decided to do. You forgot about the segment, and then you just pick garbage.
Yeah.
oh, we didn't forget that was planned. Tommy.
No,
Oh,
yeah,
I-
that actually was planned. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're right. That actually was planned. That's not a joke.
If Tommy's running the show, I doubt anything's planned.
Okay. Okay.
You literally opened up the show with that. Like, I don't. I don't. Anyways, NASCAR at Martinsville, Trucks Xfinity Cup. Trucks on Thursday. So after you're done watching the Bomb Squad Cup Series on JTN, you could probably watch the end of the truck race, because I remember we were going head to head with the Bristol race in September last year. Same amount of laps as the truck race, and we finished before them. So just a heads up.
Oh my gosh. Good old truck series. Yeah.
And with like 50, 60 laps to spare too. Like it was not close. And that race wasn't rain delayed.
Oh my god, I can't imagine this week's race isn't going to be a mess.
Trucks at Martinsville.
The last truck race at Martinsville went so well.
Kyle Busch is in the race, so that's cool, right? I mean,
yeah. So we're picking for second, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Davey's gonna take Parker Kligerman.
Yeah.
Parker Kligerman and Matt Jaskell.
Matthew's gonna take Johnny Sauter.
No. I would rather eat my own shoe than root for Johnny Sauter.
And you don't mean shoe.
No, specifically, I can't reach it. This shoe. So, I'm gonna hate myself and take Stuart Friesen again. It's got to work eventually. So,
Zane Smith is just gonna keep winning races this year. He's out to prove something. Should have been in the Cup Series if Ganassi doesn't fold. So. Yeah. There's Bristol, too, making a little appearance.
Hey, Bristol.
Pretty cool. Pretty baller of Bristol. There he is yawning. But you know it's late. Who did I say? Oh, Zane Smith. That's who I took.
Yeah.
It's been a long 2, 3, however many weeks.
Numbers, you know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Davey, do you have anything to say? Because you're kind of like praying or something right now.
No, I'm just waiting to make my pick.
For trucks? Oh, Xfinity? Okay, go ahead.
Howie DiSavino III.
Okay.
Who? I have no idea who that is, if I'm being honest, Davey.
He's driving for Tommy Joe, right?
Oh.
Are we not all picking? Are we done picking? Am I the only one that picked?
Yeah, well, I'm looking at the entry list, and I was asking who Howie DiSavino is, and nobody answered me.
There he is. There's his name. I see him right there.
Oh, God. I hate it here. Give me... Oh, Junior's in this race. Give me Junior.
If Junior wins, that would be so cool, but it probably won't happen. So.
I might actually cry. So.
Hopefully he qualifies for the race. Can you imagine?
I'm going to pick Junior, and he's going to blow up in qualifying.
I think he'd get past champions, most likely.
Maybe.
So...
I don't know
if that's only for full-time people. But it's Dale Jr., so they'll probably make like a 39th entry for him or something.
Yeah, they'll have a fan vote for the last entry.
He'll buy his way into the race.
Yeah.
I am going to take Josh Berry because he needs something good to happen, it seems like, after the start to the year that he's kind of had. Hasn't been great, hasn't been bad, but
yeah,
seems like he needs a win.
He's really good at running like 7th right now.
Which isn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
And the Cup Series, Davey.
Josh Bilicki.
Get sticky for Bilicki, baby.
Yeah. Is Greg Biffle in the field this week?
Nope.
Dang it.
I would have picked him.
How about Kaz Gralla?
Gralla in the field?
Or wait. Oh, okay, no. The 50 car isn't in the field this week. I'm going stupid. Give me Stenhouse. I'm feeling dangerous.
Take AJ Allmendinger.
All right.
We all went off the board there.
Yeah.
AJ should have won this race in 2012, so...
Yeah.
Thanks, Ryan Newman.
Meanwhile, I'm leaving Martin Truex, who's won like 3 of the last 5 Martinsville races out there. But
there's no fun in that. There's no fun in that. Anyways, that's our episode this week. Good job, guys. We're under 50 minutes right now before exit stuff.
Because we're good at this.
Just we're speed running the podcast.
Of course. What's our split?
Min-maxing it, yeah.
Yeah, baby, yeah.
Do we have any? Oh, actually, I just remembered something that we missed on the Xfinity race finish discussion. which was when John Hunter Nemechek was talking about the finish, and it was like nobody remind John Hunter about the Moseport finish when he did something even worse.
Yeah, but he got his butt kicked, so I mean,
yeah. And I tweeted that. I was like, he's not wrong, but John Hunter's the last person to talk about etiquette on track, especially what he did at the truck race in Atlanta. So, yeah, we're all hypocrites here.
Agreed. We love hypocrites.
Anyways, folks, thank you for watching this week. We really appreciate you for watching or listening. I guess you could be listening. I don't know why you'd want to look at our ugly mugs. Davey is gonna go get something apparently, so that's cool. Don't know what he's doing. Don't know, maybe DoorDash something.
He does this.
He does do this. He just randomly leaves. So Matthew, you said you got some diecast reviews on their way. What else you got cooking?
That's a good question. I don't really know.
Are we gonna get another episode of Disqualified, or are they gonna be like once every couple months? Like, what's?
I was actually going to post today. I'll be like, hey, do we want to record this Sunday? But the next episode of Disqualified will be on quite possibly the worst Formula One team of all time. Yes, worse than life. For those in the know, it's a little team called Andrea Moda. So that'll be a doozy of a story if you guys listen to that episode. Also, you can find me on Twitter at msteelman51. And like I said, I posted a rare photo or video on Instagram, _unofficial_bay. So you can go watch me and my roommate ride a side hack BMX bike around the BMX track. And I'm going to try to I want to try to take some photos and videos of me doing bike stuff at the park. So yeah,
content,
that's where you can find me.
Yeah. How's Provo coming?
It's going on all right. I haven't worked on it in a hot minute because I've just been
stop motion making goes usually.
Yeah. Bowling season just wrapped up and I was like, okay, I got Tuesday nights available now, so that's cool.
Well, hey, sounds like you can come watch the Maverick Cup series with me in the booth.
I can. Maybe. We'll see. If you need anybody to broadcast, I am willing to step in. But I'm just saying, might be weird for me to jump in when I don't know anybody. So
that's what everyone says. Real quick, that's what everyone says. Like, Weaver said that. Davey said that. Like, Tommy and Ricky were the only two that didn't say that, and because they've been doing this from the jump.
Yeah.
And like, that is the dumbest excuse. Like, what do you think? I know everyone on a personal level that we've ever broadcast for?
Davey.
Like, I don't understand that. When you guys say that, it kind of grinds my gears a little bit, you know.
I don't know. That's just my.
I understand
I've
the concern.
Never done it before,
but it's like I got you. Hey, you did it for Fast 29.
I'm back.
Yeah, but I know everybody because I've been I own the USRL.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you know the racers.
I'm back. Hey.
You'll never talk to half of them. It feels like.
True.
Hello.
Hello, Davey.
That's Davey. He's for our audio listeners. He has his karting suit on.
And his helmet.
He looks like a tool. He heard that one.
Davey, where can we find you on social media?
You can in the race car, baby, in the old office. You can find me there.
You can find me at generic race car
Have
driver.
a good night. You can find me in the office, baby. I'm at the office in the. I've got to go testing, and then I got to go cycle in the Alps. I'm a Porsche factory driver. I didn't pay for it. My job did. Thank you. Goodbye.
Is he just trying to end the show?
I just want to see how long this goes for, honestly. I think this is good content. But if you want to find out more about Davey, we got all his links posted down in the description below. I'm not going to read them off because apparently he doesn't want to read them off either.
You're right.
With all that being said, folks, make sure if you haven't already, you drop you subscribe to us here over on JTN2. Haven't had any new subscribers in a hot minute here, so it would be really appreciated if you did. Know we've kind of turned everything upside down by moving the podcast over here to JTN2. But we really appreciate you folks that have already come over, and we hope that more of you keep migrating your way on over. The audio listeners those numbers have been up, so that's really awesome. You didn't see anything. So that's been really awesome to see. Drop a like on the video as always. Check out Normal JTN. Make sure you're subscribed over there if you're new to this, because over there we do all our live race sim racing broadcasting, which is a lot of fun. A lot of great races, a lot of great racing, a lot of great other stuff. So that's always good too. With all that being said, though, folks, cannot thank you enough for tuning in to this week's edition of the Fake Racers podcast. For Davey Hazard, for Matthew Steelman, for Bristol, our producer, I'm Joe Twansky. Thank you for watching. We'll see you guys next time right here on Fake Racers podcast.
Lamar scary.